Okay, before starting, I'd like to introduce those members of the head table that are not speaking. We're honored to have Rick Morin, who will be our president, our chairman next year, up here at the front table. We have two outstanding college coaches, Mark Woodward from Wesleyan University, the head baseball coach, and Charlie Hickey, the head baseball coach at Central Connecticut State University, and Ann Evans from the Department of Commerce. Let's have a round of applause for them. Before turning this over to Greg, at your table you have some information on our taste of Middlesex County. We kicked it off with an unbelievable business after work last week at Powder Ridge, and then we had some chopped competition after that. And I'd just like to have Sean Hayes stand up and be recognized. We had a tremendous turnout, over 250 at the business after work. His staff did a great job. Thank you very much, Sean. Phil Olette from Eli Cannons did an unbelievable great job as MC of our chop competition that night. If you need somebody to get up, he's shaking his head no, but he is outstanding, Phil Olette. And the restaurants that participated were Angelico's, Bocce Grill, Tuscany Grill, First and Last Tavern, Herd Restaurant, and Lancheese. And it gives me a great honor to introduce and recognize Paul Angelico and Chef Lucas Hennick from Angelico's as the winners of the chop competition. Gives me a great honor now to introduce our terrific chairman this year, Greg Shook.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming out. My wife usually roots for the team that she sits next to, and in that case, I'm honoring my wife by wearing the LA hat, and really excited to be here, that you were able to come, and really thrilled to meet you. My pleasure is to recognize the state and local officials that are in the room that do such good work for us, and also welcome two new members. If they're here, I'd love them to stand up because they are the life force of jobs and lifting people up. Aflac, East Hampton. Thank you. And the second is Lifetime Care at Home in Guilford. Thank you. Have a great day, folks. Thank you.
Short and sweet. All right. Also, over this past couple of weeks, we've lost some really outstanding individuals from our region passed away. Wally Camp, the great basketball coach at Durham and then Coggins, passed away. His funeral was yesterday. Joe Seiferman, who was an unbelievable member of our chamber from the town of Portland, first chair of the town of Portland, just recently passed away, was in the paper today. And an individual that I owe so much to, was a mentor to myself for many, many years. He was with me back at my career at Xavier. I was honored to have his son Tom play for me. He was one of the three individuals that were instrumental in bringing me from the MX Corporation over to the chamber job back in 1983, where it was a risk because I had no chamber experience. But Bob Byrne saw something that others maybe didn't see, and I didn't even see it myself. And he was a mentor to me and just an unbelievable past chairman, distinguished citizen award winner, and an individual that really has made, one of the individuals that made this chamber the way it is today. Back in the 80s, I can tell you it wasn't the way it is now. So a moment of silence for Bob Byrne, Joe Seiferman, and Wally Camp, three outstanding individuals that have made an impact in Middlesex County. Thank you very much. Let's have a round of applause for Tom DeQuilla who will be receiving the Good Sport Award from the Connecticut Sports Writers at the Gold Key. Tom, stand up and be recognized. Congratulations. Big time award. And also, we have a birthday tomorrow. This guy served in the Second World War. He'll be 89 tomorrow. I've got candles in the Lyman pie, but I didn't light them because he can't blow them out. He doesn't have enough energy. Al Hamra, stand up. A great, great individual. Happy birthday, Albert. There's none better than Albert. He does so much for so many people. He helps people out all the time. Just a great individual. Next, for some special presentations, we're honored to have with us Deputy Mayor Bob Santangelo from the city of Middletown and Enzo Fienza, the mayor of the town of Cromwell. Come up together.
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Mayor Dan Drew, I brought a proclamation. I'm not going to read all of it because there's a lot of information on here. But what I will say to Rich Hills, congratulations on being the role model of the year. I read everything on here and well-deserved and well-honored. As a result of that, on behalf of Mayor Dan Drew, I will read, "Now, therefore be it resolved that I, Daniel T. Drew, Mayor of the City of Middletown, do hereby proclaim Wednesday, January 18th, 2017 as Rich Hill Day in the City of Middletown. And on behalf of the residents, it is my pleasure to honor Rich, congratulate him on a well-deserved recognition, and thank him for being an excellent role model." And as you know, it's a tradition in Middletown that when it's your day, you get free parking all day long.
Good morning, everyone. Before I say a few words, I do want to thank Larry and the Chamber for everything that you do with the quality programs. We have the greatest chamber in the state, and I don't have an opportunity to speak very much, so I wanted to give a big thank you to Larry and your entire team, so thank you. Rich, I want to give you a big warm welcome to the town of Cromwell. I have a couple of things I want to present. First, in honoring your achievements and your charitable contributions, your work with the community, your involvement, you're a true role model to our youth and to the future of the kids in the programs and sports and life in general. I have a proclamation plaque here for you that honors you as the recipient of the Middlesex Chamber Role Model of the Year, so I want to present that to you. So I got a couple things. So we also have a tradition in Cromwell. Sports are a big thing. In baseball, we won a couple state championships. We're proud of our Cromwell Panthers. So it's a tradition I started last year with Sue Bird, who was last year's award recipient. I have a fleece customized for you with your name and number on there. Cromwell Panthers, Cromwell, Connecticut. So Rich Hill, congratulations and thank you for everything you do.
Because you saw that the Huskies last night run their 92nd straight win. And just to let people know, Gino will be speaking to the Chamber on March 13th. That will be a sold-out event. So if you plan, it's in your folders, at your places, at your table. Make sure that you sign up for that quick. That will be a sold-out event. So that's the 13th with Gino Oriema. The next breakfast that we're probably going to have is the 24th of February. Pencil that in. We are talking to people now on that date, but it looks like that'll be the date we'll have it. And then immediately after the Gino breakfast, we have a workshop on lending. And basically, this will be co-sponsored by the Small Business Administration and ourselves. It's the third annual Small Business Lending Forum and Mini Expo. We will have conventional and non-conventional funding available for people, and just take advantage of that. I would like to thank the Small Business Administration, Connecticut Small Business Administration with Jim Jackson for their great support of that. And again, on the Taste of Middlesex County, we have 27 restaurants offering it this week from the 16th, which was Monday, to the 22nd. Johanna Bond is, I don't know if she's in here, but if not, she has done a fantastic job for this. Let's have a round of applause for Johanna Bond in the office. Also, January is National Mentoring Month. As you know, we have about 75 or 80 mentors right now dealing with students in the city of Middletown. We do need more mentors. It's a great opportunity for somebody to give up an hour or so a week to really make a difference in the kids' lives. If anybody's interested in that, just contact us at the Chamber. And we have our big legislative breakfast, which Paul Doyle attends every year and is with us, plus the other 14 members of our legislative team in the House of Representatives and Senate, and that's January 27th at the Courtyard by Marriott. Now it gives me a great honor to introduce an individual who does a tremendous job with the Travelers Golf, Nathan Grube. This guy is the best. Come on up, Nathan.
Thank you, Coach. Rich, it's hard to follow people who can name days after you and things like that, which, so outside of renaming the tournament the Rich Hill Championship, which I'm completely unauthorized to do, I don't have much to offer other than to say thank you for being here. And then also say I'm a SoCal kid and I grew up a Padres fan, right up until I realized that the Dodgers were a better team and a better organization, so I'm now a Dodgers fan. But I want to say to everybody, Larry lets me get up here every month and chat a few minutes. And usually I talk about charities and what's happening with the tournament and announce players and things like that. But I did want to mention something separate this morning because we're in the middle of our sales season right now. And every year we sell about $6 million worth of inventory to people like you, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses. And they use the event to grow their business. They bring customers out. They bring potential clients out. And I want to paint two scenarios for you. Scenario one, does anybody in here have a business they're trying to grow? Nobody. All right, Larry, congratulations on having a very active chamber. Does anybody have a business in here they are trying to grow? New clients? Develop? Great. Okay, that's a little more lively. Scenario one, you call up a potential customer and you say, I'd love to block off 5 hours on your calendar next Thursday. Do you mind if I come in and talk to you for really the duration of the afternoon about our company and how I want you to be a customer? You'd probably get silence on the other end and an answer of, no, I'm not going to give you 5 hours of my time for you to come in and spend time with me. Scenario two, call up that same customer. You say, hey, I have a ticket to the Travelers Championship. It's a great venue, open bar, full food and beverage. I got VIP parking. I can get you right in the front. Love to come out, and would you like to spend the day with me? The answer would be, oh, you know what, I can't block off the whole day. I can only block off about 5 hours in the afternoon. Is that still okay? Two very different scenarios. Scenario two, we have our sales brochures that have come out now. We'd love to talk to you about scenario two. Scenario one, if that has worked for anybody in this room, I would love to talk to you right here after the breakfast, and please let me know how you can book 5 hours with your customers. So anyway, I say that to say from a business development standpoint, there are hundreds of businesses that are using the tournament to grow what they're doing, talk about what they're doing. We have probably 300 different companies that invest with the tournament. We'd love for you, if you are not investing with us, to take a look at us and see how we can help you. So that's my pitch. We'll see you in 151 days, if not sooner, if Larry gives me the microphone again. And Rich, thanks again for being here.
You always got the microphone, Nathan. You don't have to worry about that. Before introducing Bill Rang, I just want to say a couple things about our award winner today, Rich Hill. First of all, I want to thank his brother, Larry Hill. Larry, come stand up, please. Larry has made it his life to, at the MCA, we work out every day to update. There's a whole table of guys, stand-up guys from the Y, this whole group, Larry's buddies. And I feel bad for your brother, because every day it's during the baseball season. How's your brother doing? When's he pitching? How's he doing? How's he feeling? And you got a brother that is unbelievable positive about everything that you're doing, which is terrific. This award we give every year, and I know Bill will be talking a little bit about you in a second, but we really feel it's an important award to give. We have some high school kids here today for someone that really did something very, very special. And in Rich Hill's case, the specialness on it is that he has overcome a lot of different things in his life, and he never quit. He was dedicated to excellence. He had some real downturns in his baseball career, but he always had a positive outlook. And the positive outlook, the hard work, the dedication, the never quit attitude is an example for every one of you youngsters, your athletes out here today. To go from the from the Long Island Ducks at one point in a year to then end up with the Los Angeles Dodgers and pitching the game that he pitched against the Chicago Cubs, which was unbelievable, plus another game which he had 7 hits of no-hit ball, but they had to take him out because of his shoulder surgery a few years ago. But I want to thank you for being that type of a role model. And also, I want to thank you. I know that your wife is with you today, and you had a real tragedy with the loss of your son. And all of this was happening at the same time. And your quote was that you and your wife live our lives for our son Brooks and his memory in us every day. That is an unbelievable tribute to an individual. Unbelievable. So I want to thank you for being the man you are. And now I'm going to introduce another individual to talk a little bit more about your background. There is no one better than Bill Rang. Here is an example of a corporate business person that has given so much to the Middlesex County region every day. He's been honored by the United Way, Xavier High School, the amount of time he puts on that board. Unbelievable friend to myself. I was honored to have him in school at Xavier. But to see him go forward and dedicate his life to the quality of life of everybody, rich, poor, everyone in our region, Bill Rang is another example of a role model. Bill Rang is a role model to me on what a corporate citizen should be and how they should act. I'm very proud of him, and I'm very proud of the support that he gives our chamber. And I know that his dad is looking down on him, who was so active in our area, and another guy that was at the Y all the time. So it gives me a great honor to introduce another role model to all of us in this room, Bill Rang.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you very much, Larry, for that extraordinary introduction. Webster Bank is delighted to once again be a sponsor for this morning's breakfast, as we recognize Rich Hill as our 2017 Role Model of the Year. Rich is a native of Milton, Massachusetts, with Connecticut ties through his brother Larry, who Larry just mentioned, lives in Durham, and was helpful in securing Rich for this morning's breakfast, so thank you very much, Larry. What is a role model? It is a person who is looked to by others as an example to be imitated. Rich should be looked to as an example for others to follow, not only for the adversity that he has faced in his career and personal life, but more importantly for how he has dealt with it and how he has come out stronger as a result. Just over 18 months ago, after a long up-and-down career in the majors, as both a starter and a reliever, which included stops with many clubs, and I have to mention also with the Red Sox and the Yankees, Rich was trying to reinvent himself as a starting pitcher for the Long Island Ducks of the Independent League because no major league club made him an offer. Yet last fall, he was pitching Game 3 of the NLCS for the LA Dodgers against the Cubs, pitching 6 scoreless innings in the win. Then last month, he finally agreed to a deal that he'd been working so hard for, a 3-year, $48 million deal with those same Los Angeles Dodgers. So how did Rich get from Long Island to Los Angeles? Through hard work, perseverance, a no-quit positive attitude, and always believing in himself. What you may not know, although Larry did mention it, was beyond the highs and lows that Rich experienced in his professional life. In February of 2014, he lost his infant son, Brooks, who died less than 2 months after his birth. When Rich was at the podium in LA after signing his contract, he thanked his family who was there that day. He mentioned his wife, Caitlin, his son, Bryce, and Brooks. Caitlin said it's like a gift to say his name, just to say Brooks, and include him. It's very important. He's our family. So when Caitlin was asked what brought Rich to the big bright stage, she said curveballs and perseverance. A reporter then asked her if Rich ever thought of quitting. It was never an option, she said. Let's give a wonderful Middlesex County welcome to this true role model, Rich Hill.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what an introduction. So, Bill, thank you very much. Good morning. First, I'd like to thank Larry McHugh and the Middlesex Chamber for this great honor and inviting me here today to speak. Man, that was a great introduction. You got me. I am very humbled to be chosen as the 2017 Role Model of the Year. Over my 15 years in professional baseball, I've been through many ups and downs, from injuries to surgeries and pitching in the playoffs. New teams, new teammates, new coaches. In a way, I'm a role model for failure. So my first suggestion for 2017 would be to go out and fail, but go and fail at something that you have passion for. So I'm standing here today because I've failed more often than I've succeeded, and without struggle, there is no progress. Without failure, there's no progress. So I'll try to clean it up here for a second. So I have a rhetorical question for the high school baseball players in attendance. I'd like to ask you, how many of you would like to play at the major league level? On any given day in the big leagues, there are 750 major league players. There are about 3,250 minor league players. Altogether, 4,000 total players in affiliated baseball. My point is if you're willing to be committed, are you willing to be committed to seeing your dream through? Yes, 1% of the population in the world will make it to the major leagues for at least one day. And about one half of that 1% will play longer than 4 years. Now knowing that, how many of you are still committed, not interested, but committed to making it to the big leagues? I've been so committed to make it and stay in the big leagues, I would throw off the side of a gym wall or a building wall, thank you, or a building wall to stay ready when the opportunity came to pass.
I suppose it would be like giving a PowerPoint presentation to an empty room. So a good example would be, in 2014 I was with the Yankees, and I got called into the office to find out I was being released. I thought, okay, but I had to stay ready. Even though there was only 1 month left in the season, I knew I had to be prepared for any opportunity that may come. And guess what? 3 days later, the Yankees called and said, meet us in New York. Later that night, I found myself pitching out of the bullpen against Brock Holt and David Ortiz with runners on second and third. I struck them both out and held the lead for the team. So my point is I was ready for the opportunity. So do not wait around to prepare for an opportunity, but be ready and stay ready. Stay committed to your goal, not interested, but again, committed. If you are passionate about your work, you will stay committed to it. But the real question is, when adversity hits, are you willing to keep going, and are you willing to see your goals through? If you lose a game, if you get injured, you get released, you lose a job, and you get told no. And that's just at work. If baseball has taught me anything, it's that the failures on the field will pale in comparison with what life will throw at you. And people will tell you no, they'll discourage you from pursuing your dream. The truth is, it's not their dream and it's not their vision to begin with. When I was at home during the 2015 season for a month before making a decision to play in the Atlantic League for the Long Island Ducks, no one was calling me, asking me to go to the gym or to go play catch to stay in shape for the next opportunity. It all had to come from within, self-motivation. I also did not know when the opportunity was going to come to pass, but I had to stay ready. If I found myself in a rut, I continued to make self-improvements. I listened to motivational speakers. I read books that kept me on track on how to take action. You must feed your mind with positive reinforcement. You also have a personal responsibility to get in the work that you need to reach your goal. It's a commitment to your attitude and to the people you surround yourself with. Surround yourself with like-minded people, and at the end of the day, you are responsible for where you are and no one else. So do not blame or point fingers because of your situation. Take personal responsibility. Do not let anyone tell you that things are not possible, because I believe that if you put in the work, they are. For me, the secret to longevity and success is self-discipline, work, and effort. You cannot substitute work. You cannot substitute for work. If you want to be successful, you have to put in the work into your craft. So you'll never know where an opportunity will come from. If I told you I was standing in front of the Red Sox dugout in 2015 watching a Billy Joel concert without a team to play for at the time, and a month later I was finishing up a complete game for the Boston Red Sox, it would sound impossible. Well, not if you set your mind and put your goals into action. Now, the odds of pitching with the Red Sox and seeing a Billy Joel concert in the same venue are improbable, but not impossible. From there, I'd like to say the rest is history, but the work never stops. The pursuit of perfection is always knocking, even knowing it is rarely obtained. For me on a game day, it is the unknown and the creativity that gets me excited every time I take the mound. And finally, passion is not in money. It is not in material things. Passion for me is throwing a perfectly executed pitch, no matter the environment. I did not care if it was throwing a bullpen with the Milton Legion team, or in Long Island during an independent baseball league game, or even in the big leagues. So I hope you can find the kind of passion where your environment will not dictate your effort. And no matter your environment, your effort will always be the same. Thank you.
Rich is willing to take some questions now, if anybody has any. Go ahead.
Toughest baseball park to pitch in for me. Major leagues? I'd probably say Yankee Stadium because of the short right porch. It's sometimes it seems like ground balls leave the yard.
How long have you been a Dodger?
Just how long have I been a Dodger fan?
Yeah.
Since I got traded last year at the deadline.
What was it like, by the way, Larry McHugh is a Cubs fan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What was it like facing the Cubs lineup? I mean, every hitter.
Yeah, that was a heck of a lineup. They just, they have such a good young lineup. A lot of obviously great talent that's coming through the organization that made it to the big leagues, and now everybody's getting to see it at the major league level. A lot of guys that are fearless, that are going out there and attacking, and that's fun for me to pitch against guys that are aggressive and guys that are trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark against myself, because it creates a good environment, and it's what people come to see. But overall, it's, for me, I don't want to say every lineup's the same, but my game plan, as long as I stick to my game plan, and continue to stay aggressive and bring a intensity to my craft when I go out there and pitch. That's what I try to stick to. But the lineup, to speak to their lineup, it's a great lineup, and they're going to be good for a long time.
Who's the most feared hitters? A couple hitters that you really fear for you?
I don't fear. I'm not going to say I don't fear any hitters, but hitters that give. So I always think that there's, everybody in the major leagues is extremely talented, extremely skilled, because they've worked on that talent to refine that skill. But Miguel Cabrera is probably the one that sticks out in my head more than any other hitter. And also another guy who's very difficult at bat for me is a guy who was a teammate this past season, was Chase Utley. He is, so you compare and contrast the two. Miguel Cabrera has a very good, does a great job of covering the plate. He does a great job of seeing the pitches and taking pitches where he needs to, and also the same with Chase. He's a tough at bat because you never know when he's going to swing or if he's going to swing. But those two guys really stick out.
Talk a little bit about how you and your catcher, or either one, prepared for the lineup. What research goes involved?
Sure.
Stuff like that.
Absolutely. So the question is, how do I prepare for a game with my catcher, going over the lineup, getting ready to go out there and perform on that day, and how much information is actually available now with video and with certain devices, TrackMan that track, I'm sure, spin rate or exit velocity. There is a lot of tools out there that are to our disposal, but for me, every pitcher is different, but for me, I like to look at the lineup, watch every hitter swing at least once through video, and then I can make my assessment from there. But really, it's a game plan that I have that's consistent, that I stick with every single time I go out there, and I don't veer off or waver from that very much. I can't tell you what that is right now, but it's really just staying with that and making sure that I have that convicted approach every time that I go out there, and staying in the moment. The more times I can stay in the moment, the more times I can have the ball come out of my hand the way I want it to, the more success the percentage will fall in my favor. So.
Also, it is to, especially for some of the younger athletes here, to condition in the off-season and be flexible, especially I'm sure for pitchers as well. How important is that to you?
Yeah. Well, like I said, the work doesn't stop. It just continues. So as soon as the off season starts, I take maybe 3 weeks just to kind of decompress from the season, and then get back into working out. Go to the gym 4 times a week. I go to two different gyms. One where I do my strength and conditioning, and another one where I do my shoulder work. Where I strengthen my shoulder. So why do I go to 2 different places? I can, where I go and get my shoulder work done. If you think about a pitcher, the shoulder is like the steering wheel in a car. So if you don't have a steering wheel, you don't have any command. You need to have a strong shoulder, and that's why there are 2 different places that I go. But the throwing for me begins usually second week in December and gradually builds up. And right now, where I'm at in my throwing program, in a few days I'll be looking forward to getting off the mound to start my bullpens, and then from there progress into spring training, where you face hitters, and then from the hitters you go into the games, and then you build up from there. You start in the games 2 innings, 3 innings. But it is to the younger players in here and the guys that are starting out or in it right now. The work is every day. It doesn't stop. So.
When did you know you wanted to be a professional baseball player?
2nd grade. Yeah. Why do I say that? Because I vividly remember writing what do you want to be when you grow up? ... And I wrote Major League Baseball player. So I would assume it was 2nd grade. I mean, I can't. that's yeah. I'm not very good. So I do enjoy it, though, because it gives you a huge appreciation for what you're seeing from Major League pitchers and what hitters are seeing from you. So it's incredibly difficult. I don't make it look good, but as long as I get the bunt down, we're all right.
Your opinion on the pitch mark and pitch count, pitch counts in general?
Sure. So what's my opinion on pitch counts, and one of the things that I think that it's kind of depends on, goes back to a strength question. Are you able to? We're doing a talk at the Mohegan Sun on the curveball, and one of the questions that we're bringing up is, how often should you throw the curveball? Can you throw the curveball multiple times in a row? So my answer to that is yes, you can. But the point is that you have to be strong enough and be able to maintain the integrity of your delivery to be able to repeat and have the ball come out of your hand the way that you want to. Any type of variation in that, I believe, leads to injury. But I do believe that at certain levels there should be pitch count markers. So at Little League, Babe Ruth, high school, college. But once you get to the major leagues, I mean, I think that there are pitch count markers because there's a lot invested into the players. However, I think that with that being said, that if the guy is showing that he is strong during the game and going through the game, then there might possibly be no reason to take him out. It's a very difficult question where I don't know if there's like a perfect answer that everybody should throw 100 pitches. I mean, or 120 pitches, or what the mark is where it should be a cutoff. But I do think that in Little League, Babe Ruth, high school, and college, there should be, and in the minor leagues, pitch, ceilings where guys should not go over. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Johnny Cueto. No, yeah, I don't. Probably Bartoli's going to home run.
Who was your favorite team growing up as a child?
The Boston Red Sox. Yeah. So split. Yeah. Of all time, all the guys. Wow. Greg Maddux, Derek Jeter, Dustin Pedroia. Trying to think who else. Yeah, I mean those three guys just stand out. David Ortiz, those four guys. But I mean when you talk about those guys, you're talking about superstars, right? But we're also talking about superstars that Clayton Kershaw, for example, superstar, best pitcher in baseball. You know, humblest guy that's going. So, and all those guys are extremely great to be around. Dave Roberts. Yeah, he's. No, yeah, Dave. To be honest with you, I know I say it. Dave has been incredible. He's unbelievable. Tito Francona, amazing. Those two guys, and you know. Those two guys are great because they let you be you. They actually, you know, they engage with the players. They care about the players. They want to know, you know, how your day is going. Simple things. It's not always just, you know, work business. It's also about life. So they do an incredible job at that.
Experienced several different teams, but do you see a common thread in team chemistry that differentiates one team from another?
Sure. Andy McAuliffe was here with the LA Times. Actually, we were talking yesterday about teams that have a goal at the beginning of the season. It has to be day one. And teams that have that goal from day one are more likely to hit their target. You know, for us, it's to win the World Series this year. But that has to be established from day one in spring training. And it's not just a fantasy. You know, it has to be a tangible look that you know where you're aiming and where you're going. Teams that I've been on that don't really set goals in the beginning of the season just kind of float around. The comparison would be the example of having a ship without a captain just floating around the sea, or a plane that you're flying in without a pilot. You don't have a destination. You're just kind of aimlessly going around, and then it creates a group of individuals. And that is destructive for any team. So when we say team, it doesn't matter if you're wearing a uniform or you're in a business. It doesn't matter. You're still a team, and the goals have to be, true. You have to know where you're going, and I think that that's the separator and the difference with the teams that are successful against the teams that are not. Sure.
How old were you when you threw your first curveball?
Great. Great question. How old was I when I started throwing a curveball, and when should young baseball players start throwing curveballs, and at what age? I started throwing a curveball when I was 15, I want to say. So when I watch the Little League World Series, or watch younger kids that are on TV throwing curveballs, I kind of cringe, because you would rather see. I compare it to a house. Everybody has to have a good foundation. But as soon as the house goes up, everybody wants something different, right? Some people like the room big, some like it small, some like an open floor plan, some like whatever, you like a door on the ceiling, that's fine. But the point is that I think you have to develop that foundation before you move on to starting to throw breaking balls or starting to throw sliders. And again, the strength factor is a huge issue. I think that as the players are getting stronger, which they are as time has gone on, I talk to scouts and they say high school players are bigger and stronger than they've ever been throughout the time that they've seen in their scouting days. But I would suggest that kids do not start throwing curveballs till probably Babe Ruth, and also maybe even past that. There are many guys in the big leagues right now that are pitching who are position players. So the transition really, I don't want to say, I think it's more difficult to go from, and I'm not going to discredit pitching in the major leagues, but I think it might be easier to go from a position to pitching rather than pitching to a position. So the arm strength is the biggest thing that you have to build up, and also sound mechanics in that foundation before you can start building the house.
What's your place in the batting rotation?
It really doesn't matter. I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, 1 through 5.
Who are the other pitchers? Yeah.
Right now, it's Clayton Kershaw, Kenta Maeda, Julio Urias, Jose De Leon, Brandon McCarthy, Scott Cat. There's a good amount of starters that are coming into camp as of right now. But that's a great question too, because I think that, you know, if you are committed to the team, then you're not worried about where your position is in the rotation, and that's how I view it. I could care less if I'm 5th, if I'm 1st. It doesn't matter in the rotation, because as soon as everything shakes out and we go into the playoffs, all bets are off. It doesn't matter where your position was. You know, it's like preseason rankings. They don't mean anything. You know, we haven't. You know, the gun hasn't sounded. The games haven't started. So it's all, you know, it's all kind of smoke and mirrors, I guess.
I'm sitting at a table with 3 gentlemen I just met this morning from the Built Lake franchise in Hartford. Brand new to building a stadium in Hartford right now. Hopefully it's going to be April 13th. Just did you have a reaction when they first announced the name of the team, which was a very public process in the naming of that team? They came out with the name, the Hartford Gargoyles.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. I did hear that. So I'm not quite sure what a yard goat is, but I think it's, you know, it definitely fits in the minor league realm of names. I think it's great. You know, I mean, I've played on a lot of minor league teams with many interesting names, like the West Tennessee Diamond Jacks. So, I mean, it doesn't, but I don't know where the affiliation is for diamond mining, I guess, in West Tennessee. I don't know, but it's a good name. Any questions from the guys over there? Do you guys have any questions? No? Yeah. All right, thank you.
Let's have a standing ovation. What a great job. Have a great day. Sun always shines in Middlesex County.